Chapter 1: Introduction to the Bigfoot Phenomenon. For centuries, an enigmatic figure has roamed the shadowy depths of North American forests, leaving only fleeting footprints and tantalizing whispers in its wake. This creature, known by many names but most commonly called Bigfoot or Sasquatch, straddles the line between myth and reality. To its believers, Bigfoot represents one of the last great mysteries of the natural world, a being so elusive, yet so connected to the land, that it seems to slip effortlessly between our world and the unknown. To skeptics, it is nothing more than folklore spun into a modern-day legend. But for those who have seen it with their own eyes, there is no doubt Bigfoot is real. Bigfoot's mystique is woven deeply into the fabric of North American culture, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. Towering at over 7 feet tall and covered in thick, dark hair, this bipedal creature has become the subject of countless encounters, sightings, and investigations. Its very name conjures an image of something primal, lurking just beyond the reach of human understanding. Yet, despite hundreds of years of sightings and reports, no one has been able to definitively capture or confirm its existence. The mystery begins long before modern times. Native American tribes, particularly those of the Pacific Northwest, have long told stories of a creature very much like Bigfoot. They called it Saskatchewan or wild man in the language of the Coast Salish people. To them, Sasquatch was not a mere animal, but a spiritual being, a protector of the forest, and in some cases a harbinger of doom. The tribes respected and feared it, passing down tales of encounters and its near mythical status from generation to generation. These stories share remarkable similarities across tribes that span vast regions, from the Kwakwaka'waka'waku in British Columbia to the Lakota of the Great Plains. This begs the question, could there be more to the story than mere myth? As the European settlers pushed westward during the 19th century, their own stories of a massive, hairy beast began to emerge. Early frontiersmen described an ape-like figure that seemed to shadow their movements in the dense forests. Trappers, miners, and even early newspaper articles from the late 1800s reported strange encounters with a creature that was neither man nor animal. These accounts, often written off as tall tales or the results of overactive imaginations, continued to pile up, and the legend of Bigfoot grew. By the mid-20th century, Bigfoot had taken on a life of its own. In 1958, a set of massive footprints discovered in Bluff Creek, California, ignited the modern Bigfoot craze. These prints, left in the mud, measured an astonishing 16 inches long. The discovery made national headlines and introduced the term Bigfoot to the mainstream consciousness. Though skeptics questioned the authenticity of the footprints, they were enough to spark the curiosity of a new generation of cryptozoologists, those dedicated to studying creatures whose existence remains unproven. However, it was in 1967 that the legend of Bigfoot truly cemented itself in popular culture. The infamous Patterson-Gimlin film, shot in Bluff Creek, provided what many believers consider to be undeniable proof. The grainy, 59-second clip shows a large, hairy figure walking upright along a riverbank, glancing back at the camera before disappearing into the trees. To this day, the footage remains one of the most analyzed and debated pieces of evidence in Bigfoot lore. Is it a man in a suit, or is it the real thing? The beauty of the Bigfoot phenomenon lies in its mystery. Despite the advances in technology, countless expeditions, and the rise of skepticism, Bigfoot refuses to be pinned down. There are no bones, no concrete proof, just sightings, footprints, recordings of eerie howls in the night, and a trail of questions. Yet, even without this evidence, people continue to believe. Why? Perhaps it is because Bigfoot represents something larger than itself, the idea that not all of nature's secrets have been revealed, that there are still wild places in the world, and creatures we have yet to truly understand. For those who believe Bigfoot is not a myth but a challenge to our understanding of the world, it is a reminder that despite all our knowledge, there is still room for wonder, mystery, and discovery. And as long as those beliefs persist, the legend of Bigfoot will continue to live on, deep in the forests, just out of sight, waiting to be discovered. Chapter 2. The Origins of Bigfoot in Indigenous Lore. Long before Bigfoot became a fixture in modern cryptozoology, it was deeply embedded in the oral traditions of indigenous peoples across North America. For many Native American tribes, the creature we now call Bigfoot, often referred to as Sasquatch, was more than a mysterious animal lurking in the woods. It was a powerful symbol, a being that existed both in the physical and spiritual realms, capable of embodying the wild, untamed essence of the natural world. To understand the roots of Bigfoot, we must first look to the stories and beliefs passed down through centuries in these cultures. In the Pacific Northwest, the term Sasquatch comes from the Stets-Ales or Chehalis, people of British Columbia. The word itself roughly translates to wild man or a hairy man of the forest, a being that was both revered and feared. According to their lore, Sasquatch was a protector of the forest, a guardian who watched over the land and its creatures. It was said to be a creature of immense power and wisdom, one that could choose to remain hidden from human eyes or reveal itself when necessary. The Sasquatch was not a monster to be hunted or feared in the traditional sense, but rather a figure to be respected. Across various tribes, there are numerous accounts of Bigfoot-like beings, each with its own unique traits and role in tribal mythology. The Salish people, for instance, believed in creatures known as Seahicks, a wild race of beings living deep within the mountains, far removed from human society. These Seahicks were said to possess supernatural abilities, including the power to vanish into thin air, making them nearly impossible to catch. And they were often depicted as reclusive, preferring to avoid human interaction, yet capable of great strength and ferocity when threatened. In other regions, the creature takes on a more menacing role. Among the Hoopa people of Northern California, there is a creature known as Oma. The Oma, like Sasquatch, is a large, hairy humanoid, but it is often described as a more ominous presence, capable of great violence if disturbed. Tribal legends warn against venturing too far into certain remote areas, lest one provoke the wrath of these territorial creatures. Even so, the Hoopa people regard Oma with a kind of cautious respect, recognizing it as a part of the natural world that must be left undisturbed. Similarly, the Lakota people of the Great Plains tell of the Chitanka or Big Elder Brother. To the Lakota, this being was not just a mysterious creature of the woods, but a wise and ancient entity that predated humans. The Chitanka was seen as a protector, a being whose presence signified balance in nature. Its appearances were often interpreted as warnings or omens, signals that the natural world was out of balance, or the humans had encroached too far into sacred lands. Unlike the aggressive encounters reported by other tribes, the Lakota viewed Chitanka as a mostly peaceful creature, one whose power was best left unchallenged. One of the most compelling aspects of these indigenous tales is their remarkable consistency. From the northern stretches of British Columbia to the deserts of New Mexico, tribes separated by vast distances and cultures have recounted stories of tall, hairy, human-like creatures that live on the fringe of society. The similarities in these accounts suggest that Bigfoot is not a recent invention of modern minds, but rather a deeply rooted figure in human history. Perhaps these stories hint at a shared memory of an ancient time when humans were not the only intelligent beings to walk the earth. While Western science has largely dismissed these tales as myth or exaggeration, indigenous people have maintained a different perspective. For them, the existence of Sasquatch is not up for debate. It is a reality, one that is woven into the fabric of their cultural identity. To question the existence of such beings is, in many ways, to question the wisdom of the elders and the truths that have been passed down through generations. The Sasquatch, like many other figures in Native American mythology, occupies a space where the physical and the spiritual intersect. It is both a part of the natural world and something beyond it, a creature that exists in the wild places not just of the land, but of the mind. Some modern researchers believe that these legends may hold the key to understanding Bigfoot. If we take the accounts of indigenous people seriously, they suggest that Bigfoot is not just a physical creature, but a being with abilities that defy conventional explanation. Perhaps this is why the creature has been able to elude capture for so long. Its existence may not be tied solely to the physical world, but to something far more elusive. As we move forward in our exploration of Bigfoot, it is crucial to remember that these indigenous stories are not just relics of the past. They are living, breathing traditions that continue to shape the way we understand this mysterious creature. To many Native Americans, Sasquatch is as real as the mountains and rivers, a reminder that there are still secrets in the world that we may never fully comprehend. And maybe, just maybe, that's the way it should be. Chapter 3. The Patterson-Gimlin Film. The Most Famous Evidence. October 20th, 1967. In the rugged wilderness of Bluff Creek, California, two men on horseback, Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, were scouting for evidence of a creature that, until then, had been relegated to the realm of folklore and tall tales. They could never have imagined that, in the span of less than a minute, they would capture what would become the most iconic and debated piece of footage in Bigfoot history. The grainy 59-second film they shot that day, now known simply as the Patterson-Gimlin film, has come to define modern Bigfoot lore. In those fleeting frames, a large, upright figure, tall, muscular, and covered in dark fur, ambles along a creek bed. At one point, it glances back toward the camera, revealing what many believe to be the face of Bigfoot, before continuing its deliberate, almost nonchalant gait into the dense cover of the forest. It's a moment that has sparked more than half a century of speculation, fascination, and obsession. But what makes this film so enduring, so impossible to shake from the public consciousness? For believers, the Patterson-Gimlin film is definitive proof. To skeptics, it's nothing more than a well-executed hoax. To both sides, though, it is undeniably compelling. The scene at Bluff Creek. Roger Patterson had been fascinated by Bigfoot for years, having read extensively about the sightings and strange encounters that had been reported in the Pacific Northwest. He had even written a book on the subject, documenting various accounts of the creature. So when Patterson and his friend Bob Gimlin set out for Bluff Creek that October day, it wasn't just a casual outing, they were actively seeking evidence of Bigfoot's existence. Armed with a rented 16mm camera, the pair were riding through the remote creek bed when they saw it. Patterson's horse reared, startled by the sight of the massive, hairy figure just 80 feet ahead. Patterson jumped off and, despite the panic of the moment, managed to get the camera rolling. As he steadied the lens, he captured the now famous footage, a creature with broad shoulders, a barrel-like chest, and long arms swinging at its sides as it walked away. The figure's head turned briefly to look at the men before continuing on its path, seemingly unconcerned with their presence. The controversy, real or hoax? Almost immediately after the film was developed, the debate began. Was this truly a glimpse of a living, breathing Bigfoot, or was it a person in an elaborate costume? The footage, while captivating, was not without its skeptics. Skeptics argue that the creature's movement appears too human, that the film quality is too poor to make definitive judgments, and that there are discrepancies in the figure's anatomy that suggest it's simply a man in a suit. And yet, for every critic, there are those who staunchly defend the film. Cryptozoologists, primatologists, and even Hollywood special effects artists have analyzed the footage, with many concluding that the technology available in the 1960s would not have allowed for such a convincing hoax. John Chambers, the Oscar-winning makeup artist behind the costumes in Planet of the Apes, famously denied having anything to do with creating a Bigfoot suit for Patterson, saying that replicating such realistic movement would have been nearly impossible at the time. One of the most compelling arguments in favor of the film's authenticity is the creature's anatomical structure. In the footage, the creature's walk is unique, displaying what's known as a compliant gait, where the knees are constantly bent, unlike the straight-legged gait of humans. Experts in biomechanics have studied the way the figure moves, noting that its proportions, long arms, a heavy torso, and an unusual leg motion don't match human anatomy. Some believe that the gait and proportions seen in the Patterson-Gimlin film are not easily mimicked by humans, even in costume. The legacy of the film. Regardless of which side of the debate you fall on, it's impossible to deny the lasting impact of the Patterson-Gimlin film. For many, it remains the cornerstone of Bigfoot evidence, and countless hours have been spent dissecting every frame, searching for clues hidden in the shaky footage. From its mysterious setting to the creature's distinct movements, the film has fueled decades of fascination and study, drawing in new generations of researchers and enthusiasts. Over the years, both Patterson and Gimlin maintained the authenticity of the film, Roger Patterson died in 1972, taking any secrets he may have had to the grave. Bob Gimlin, who remains alive today, has never wavered in his claim that what they filmed was no hoax. Gimlin, who had no particular interest in Bigfoot before the encounter, stands by the fact that what they saw and recorded was real. His calm demeanor and steadfast defense of the footage have lent credibility to the story, even as skeptics continue to dissect it. The film also sparked a wave of expeditions, research, and interest in Bigfoot that continues to this day. From amateur enthusiasts to professional cryptozoologists, thousands of people have ventured into forests and remote areas across North America, hoping to capture their own evidence of the elusive creature. In many ways, the Patterson-Gimlin film is the touchstone that inspired modern Bigfoot research. Why it still matters. What makes the Patterson-Gimlin film so enduring is that it captures more than just an alleged Bigfoot. It encapsulates the essence of the mystery itself. The creature in the film moves just beyond our grasp, slipping into the wilderness, leaving us with only questions. Its existence teases the boundary between belief and disbelief, between what we know and what we hope might still be out there, hiding in the uncharted corners of the world. As technology advances and new methods of analyzing the footage continue to emerge, the debate surrounding the film only grows more complex. Some hope that advancements in image enhancement or AI-driven analysis might one day provide a definitive answer. Until then, the Patterson-Gimlin film remains a Rorschach test for the curious. What you see depends largely on what you believe. For those who believe in Bigfoot, this film represents more than just 59 seconds of footage. It is a beacon of hope, a tantalizing glimpse into a world where not all of nature's secrets have been revealed. For skeptics, it's a reminder that even in our age of information, mystery still lingers on the edges of certainty. And perhaps that's what keeps the legend alive, the unshakable hope that some mysteries are still waiting to be solved, hidden just beyond the reach of our cameras, deep in the wilderness. Chapter 4: Bigfoot's Physical Characteristics and Behavior. When most people think of Bigfoot, the image that comes to mind is nearly universal: a massive, hairy figure, looming like a shadow in the woods, its features just out of focus. But beyond the mystery and myth, there are strikingly consistent descriptions of Bigfoot's physical characteristics and behavior that have been reported by thousands of witnesses across North America. While these accounts vary in small details, a common profile has emerged over the years, painting a vivid picture of this elusive creature. A giant among us. The first thing almost every witness notices about Bigfoot is its sheer size. Reports typically describe the creature as standing between 7 and 9 feet tall, with some estimates reaching as high as 10 feet. Its body is said to be covered in thick hair or fur, ranging in color from dark brown to black, though some sightings mention reddish or even white fur, possibly indicating age or regional variation. This coat, matted and dense, blends perfectly into the shadowy undergrowth of the forests it is said to inhabit, offering it a natural camouflage. The creature's bulk is another key characteristic. Witnesses frequently describe Bigfoot as powerfully built, with a broad, barrel-like chest, muscular limbs, and shoulders so wide that it dwarfs even the largest human frame. Its arms are particularly notable, long and ape-like, reaching down to its knees or lower, with hands large enough to leave distinctive prints in the mud and snow. These massive footprints, which often measure over 15 inches in length, give Bigfoot its name, and are frequently the only tangible evidence left behind after an encounter. The size and shape of these prints, complete with 5 toes and sometimes visible dermal ridges, have been studied extensively by cryptozoologists. One of the more curious features reported in many encounters is Bigfoot's face. While some descriptions suggest a primitive, ape-like appearance, with a pronounced brow ridge and a flat nose, others describe a more human-like visage, with deep-set eyes and expressive features. Witnesses often speak of the creature's eyes in particular, dark and intense, seeming to glimmer with intelligence, as if observing rather than reacting. Some describe a pungent, musky odor accompanying sightings, which some theorize could be a defense mechanism, similar to how certain animals release scents when threatened. Bigfoot on the move behavior in the wild. Bigfoot is not just notable for its size, but also for its behavior. It is most often described as an elusive and solitary creature, typically seen alone or in small family groups, if at all. While it has become known for its tendency to avoid direct contact with humans, this very behavior has fueled the mystery surrounding it. How does such a large creature remain hidden for so long? For many believers, the answer lies in Bigfoot's intelligence and deep connection to its environment. One of the most reported behaviors of Bigfoot is its ability to move quietly through even the densest forests. Despite its size, it is said to be incredibly stealthy, able to slip through the wilderness without making a sound. Witnesses often remark on how the creature seems to simply disappear, blending into its surroundings with an almost supernatural ease. This skill has led some to suggest that Bigfoot might possess heightened senses, or even abilities that go beyond our understanding of the natural world. Another common trait attributed to Bigfoot is its communication. Many witnesses report hearing strange, unidentifiable sounds in areas known for Bigfoot activity. These sounds include eerie howls, loud wood knocks, and strange vocalizations that don't match any known animal. The phenomenon of tree knocking where loud, resonant knocks are heard in the woods is often associated with Bigfoot, as some believe it uses this method to communicate with others of its kind or to warn of nearby humans. These sounds, recorded in various locations, continue to baffle researchers and enthusiasts alike, as they don't fit the profile of any familiar wildlife. Bigfoot has also been reported to demonstrate tool use, a characteristic more commonly associated with primates and humans. Some eyewitnesses claim to have seen Bigfoot using sticks or stones, not as weapons, but as a form of communication, perhaps knocking them against trees to create signals. In certain areas, researchers have found unusual rock piles, broken tree branches arranged in patterns, and other forms of what appear to be environmental manipulation, which they attribute to the creature's handiwork. Despite its legendary strength and potential ferocity, Bigfoot is generally regarded as a peaceful, if not entirely gentle, creature. While there are a handful of reports of aggression, such as the Ape Canyon incident where miners claim to be attacked by a group of creatures, most encounters end without any confrontation. In many cases, Bigfoot seems more curious than hostile, watching from a distance or retreating when approached. Some witnesses report a mutual moment of stillness, where they lock eyes with the creature, feeling as though they are being studied as much as they are doing the observing. Evidence in the wilderness, the physical traces left behind. While direct sightings of Bigfoot are rare, it leaves behind clues that fuel the mystery. The most famous of these are, of course, the footprints, massive humanoid tracks found in remote locations that often defy explanation. These prints have been found in mud, snow, and sand, typically far from any human habitation. What sets them apart from a simple hoax is not just their size, but the depth and detail in some prints, suggesting a heavy, living creature left them. In some cases, researchers have even found dermal ridges, similar to fingerprints, embedded in the prints, which would be incredibly difficult to fake. In addition to footprints, there have been occasional reports of hair and scat samples that are believed to belong to Bigfoot. While many of these samples, when analyzed, have turned out to be from known animals, a few remain inconclusive, showing traits that do not match any species native to the areas where they were found. However, the inconclusive nature of this evidence only adds to the mystique, fueling the belief that Bigfoot is a creature unlike any other. Lastly, there is the auditory evidence. The mysterious howls, screams, and knocks have been recorded in remote forests across North America, known as the Sierra Sounds. One set of recordings, captured in California's Sierra Nevada mountains, includes a series of vocalizations that researchers believe could be a form of communication between Bigfoot individuals. These sounds remain unexplained by traditional wildlife experts, adding another layer of intrigue to the creature's elusive presence. The mystery deepens. In the end, Bigfoot's physical characteristics and behaviors only deepen the enigma surrounding it. Its towering size, quiet movements, and strange vocalizations hint at a creature that exists on the fringes of human experience, something wild, intelligent, and just beyond the reach of science. For every sighting, there are hundreds of untold stories, whispers in the trees, and tracks disappearing into the mist. Bigfoot's ability to remain hidden despite its formidable presence is what keeps believers searching, hoping for that one moment of clarity, that one glimpse into the unknown. Whether it's an undiscovered species, a relic from a prehistoric past, or something else entirely, one thing is certain: Bigfoot has carved out its place in the annals of mystery, an enduring figure that, like the forests it inhabits, still holds secrets yet to be uncovered. Chapter 5: Bigfoot Encounters and Sightings. For as long as humans have wandered through the untamed wilderness of North America, stories of encounters with a towering, mysterious figure have followed. These are not merely campfire tales, but personal testimonies from people of all walks of life: hikers, hunters, farmers, and even law enforcement officers. Some claim to have seen the creature up close, while others have only glimpsed it from afar. Yet in each case, the experience leaves an indelible mark. These accounts of Bigfoot sightings have fueled generations of believers, contributing to the legend and providing an ongoing mystery that demands investigation. But the famous encounters. Among the most famous of Bigfoot encounters is the story of Albert Ostman, a Canadian prospector whose claim stands out not just for its detail, but for its sheer strangeness. In 1924, while prospecting near Toba Inlet in British Columbia, Ostman was allegedly kidnapped by a family of Bigfoot. According to his story, he was carried off while asleep in his sleeping bag and held for 6 days in a remote mountain area by a group of the creatures. Ostman described the creatures as huge and covered in hair, living in a makeshift camp in the wilderness. His account includes an attempt to communicate with the creatures, observing their social behaviors, and ultimately escaping after tricking them with a chewing tobacco stunt. While his story is often met with skepticism, Ostman maintained it until his death, swearing to its truth. Another iconic encounter took place at Ape Canyon, near Mount St. Helens, Washington in 1924. A group of miners reported being attacked by multiple creatures, which they referred to as ape men. According to the miners, the creatures threw rocks at their cabin and attempted to break in, causing a night of terror as they defended themselves with firearms. The following morning, large footprints were found around the cabin. This incident, despite its dramatic details, left no conclusive evidence, but it remains one of the most famous encounters with Bigfoot in history. These encounters, though extraordinary, are just the tip of the iceberg. Every year, hundreds of new reports come in, some more mundane than others, but each adding to the growing body of sightings that continue to build the case for Bigfoot's existence. Modern-day sightings personal accounts. In modern times, Bigfoot sightings have taken on a new significance. With the rise of technology, more people than ever before have ventured into remote areas with cameras, hoping to document their encounters. While most sightings result in nothing more than a blurry photograph or shaky video, the personal stories of those who claim to have come face to face with Bigfoot are often far more compelling. Consider the case of Paul Freeman, a former U.S. Forest Service employee who claimed to have seen Bigfoot multiple times during his years working in the Pacific Northwest. In 1982, Freeman reported his first sighting, describing the creature as standing nearly 8 feet tall, with a thick coat of reddish-brown fur. While his claims were initially dismissed as a hoax, Freeman later captured footage of large footprints and even a brief video of what he claimed was a Bigfoot walking through the forest. Freeman's footage, though not as famous as the Patterson-Gimlin film, has been studied by many in the cryptozoology community and remains a point of debate to this day. Another notable encounter occurred in Skookum Meadows, Washington in 2000. A group of Bigfoot researchers set up bait to try and lure a creature into leaving behind physical evidence. While no sighting occurred, what they found was even more puzzling: an imprint in the mud that some believe was made by a large creature lying down to reach the bait. Known as the Skookum cast, this piece of evidence has been analyzed by various experts, who have argued that the shape and size of the imprint could not have been made by a known animal. These are just 2 examples of the many modern-day sightings and encounters that suggest something unusual is still lurking in the wilderness, From the forests of the Pacific Northwest to the Appalachian Mountains and beyond, the sheer number of reports is difficult to dismiss entirely. Geographic hotspots, where sightings are most common. While Bigfoot sightings have been reported across North America, there are certain regions that seem to be hotspots for activity. These areas, often remote and densely forested, provide the perfect cover for a large, elusive creature to avoid detection. The Pacific Northwest, particularly Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia, remains the epicenter of Bigfoot lore. This region, with its vast forests and rugged terrain, has long been associated with sightings, with some of the most famous encounters occurring here. In Washington's Cascade Mountains and Oregon's Mount Hood National Forest, hikers and campers frequently report strange sounds, footprints, and fleeting glimpses of a large, hairy figure moving through the trees. The Appalachian Mountains are another major hotspot, stretching from Alabama to Canada. The dense forests and isolated mountain valleys provide an ideal habitat for a creature like Bigfoot. West Virginia is home to one of the most active Bigfoot communities in the country, where sightings have been reported for decades, and regular expeditions are launched to search for evidence. In the southern United States, the Florida Everglades is known for its own version of Bigfoot, the skunk ape. This creature, smaller and more agile than its northern cousin, is said to inhabit the swampy, humid regions of Florida, where it has been sighted since the early 1900s. Witnesses often describe a pungent odor, leading to the name skunk ape, and report seeing a large, bipedal figure moving through the dense underbrush. Why so many sightings? Skeptics often point to the sheer number of sightings as evidence that something else is at play: misidentification of known animals, hoaxes, or even the power of suggestion. It's easy to dismiss these accounts as people seeing what they want to see, especially in regions steeped in Bigfoot lore. But for those who claim to have had an encounter, their experiences are real, and they cannot be so easily explained away. Many believers suggest that the frequency of sightings is tied to Bigfoot's intelligence and adaptability. Unlike other animals, which often avoid humans purely out of instinct, Bigfoot seems to display a level of awareness and caution that allows it to observe humans from a distance without being detected. This might explain why sightings often occur in remote, hard-to-reach areas, where the creature can vanish before being approached. Another theory is that Bigfoot's apparent rarity is due to its small population. If the creature exists in small, isolated groups scattered across the continent, it would make sense that encounters are infrequent. This would also explain why physical evidence, such as bones or remains, has yet to be found. If Bigfoot is intelligent enough to live in remote areas, it might also be able to dispose of its dead in ways that make discovery nearly impossible. The unsolved mystery. Bigfoot sightings, both historical and modern, continue to captivate the imagination. Each new encounter adds another layer to the mystery, leaving us with more questions than answers. Whether these sightings are the result of misidentified wildlife hoaxes or encounters with a genuine unknown creature, one thing remains clear: the legend of Bigfoot is not going away. For every person who claims to have seen Bigfoot, there are countless others waiting for their own encounter. Whether driven by curiosity, fear, or a sense of adventure, people continue to venture into the wilderness, hoping for a glimpse of the creature that has eluded us for so long. As the sightings continue and the stories grow, Bigfoot remains, as always, just out of reach, both a symbol of the unknown and a reminder that, even in a world dominated by technology and discovery, there are still mysteries left to explore. Chapter 6: Bigfoot Evidence, Footprints, Hair, and Sound Recordings. For decades, the hunt for Bigfoot has been propelled not only by eyewitness accounts but by the tantalizing physical evidence left behind. While no definitive proof has been found, the fragments of potential evidence, footprints, hair samples, and eerie sound recordings have kept the mystery alive. These clues offer glimpses into a creature that continues to elude the scientific community, but for believers, they represent the possibility that Bigfoot is real and waiting to be discovered. Footprints, the signatures of a giant. Perhaps the most famous and widely documented evidence of Bigfoot's existence is its namesake footprints. Large, human-like prints, often measuring between 15 and 24 inches in length, have been found in remote areas across North America. These impressions are typically discovered in soft ground, such as mud or snow, and often show details that make them difficult to dismiss as hoaxes. One of the earliest and most famous examples comes from the Bluff Creek area in Northern California in 1958, when a road construction crew stumbled upon a series of enormous tracks. The prints, which were up to 16 inches long, sparked widespread interest and led to the popularization of the name Bigfoot. These footprints were photographed, measured, and cast, and though skeptics have suggested they were a prank, the sheer size and number of prints have led some researchers to believe they could be authentic. Footprint casts have since been collected by cryptozoologists and amateur researchers alike. Notable among these is the work of Dr. Grover Krantz, a physical anthropologist who spent years analyzing Bigfoot footprints. Krantz focused particularly on dermal ridges, the fine lines on the skin of the feet that, like fingerprints, are unique to each individual. He argued that the ridges found in some Bigfoot prints were too detailed and consistent to have been faked. Another fascinating aspect of these footprints is their depth. Some prints are so deeply pressed into the ground that they suggest an extraordinary weight, often estimated to be between 600 and 1,000 pounds, in areas where the ground is firm. The depth of these impressions would require more weight than an average human could exert, lending credibility to the idea that these prints were made by a large bipedal creature. Despite these compelling discoveries, footprints alone do not provide conclusive evidence. Many can be attributed to misidentified bear tracks, human pranksters, or even natural formations. Yet, for those who believe the volume of these discoveries, spread over vast distances, and often in remote, inaccessible areas, points to something more than mere coincidence. Hair and fur samples elusive DNA. The search for DNA evidence has become a focal point in modern Bigfoot research. Over the years, hair samples thought to belong to the creature have been collected, but results have often been inconclusive. In most cases, DNA testing either reveals the hair belongs to a known animal, often bears, wolves, or elk, or the sample is too degraded to yield a clear result. However, there have been rare instances where the hair did not match any known species, adding a layer of mystery to the findings. One of the most significant attempts to analyze potential Bigfoot DNA came in 2013, when Dr. Melba Ketchum, a veterinarian and geneticist, led a study on over 100 hair and tissue samples purportedly from Bigfoot. Her controversial conclusion was that the samples represented a previously unknown species of hominin, suggesting that Bigfoot might be a hybrid between humans and an unknown primate species. However, the study was heavily criticized by the scientific community for its methodology, and no independent verification of her results has been made. Though definitive DNA evidence remains elusive, the collection of these hair samples continues to intrigue researchers. Many argue that if Bigfoot exists, it would likely live in remote areas, avoiding humans and limiting the chances of leaving behind sufficient biological material for analysis. Until a clear DNA match is found, hair and fur samples will remain one of the more tantalizing, yet inconclusive, pieces of evidence. Sound recordings: the voice of Bigfoot. One of the most chilling and compelling types of evidence comes in the form of sound recordings. These mysterious vocalizations, captured in remote wilderness areas, defy easy explanation. Researchers have categorized these sounds as howls, screams, whoops, growls, and even what some describe as a form of speech. Among the most famous of these recordings are the Sierra Sounds, captured in the early 1970s by Ron Moorhead and Al Berry in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. These recordings feature a series of eerie, guttural vocalizations that seem to be exchanged between multiple creatures. Some sounds resemble deep, resonant howls, while others mimic a form of chatter that has been likened to language. Experts in bioacoustics and linguistics have analyzed these recordings, with some concluding that the range and complexity of the sounds suggest they are not from any known animal. The Ohio Howl is another well-known audio recording, captured in 1994 by a researcher in Columbiana County, Ohio. The sound is a long, haunting wail that echoes through the night and has since become one of the most widely shared pieces of Bigfoot-related audio. Animal experts have been unable to conclusively identify the source of the howl, further fueling speculation that it could be from an undiscovered creature. Wood knocks, another form of audio evidence, have been frequently reported by Bigfoot researchers. These sounds, created by something striking trees with heavy objects, are thought to be a form of communication, possibly territorial signaling. Recorded in forests across North America, wood knocks are often heard in areas where sightings or other forms of Bigfoot evidence have been reported. Though these sound recordings are not definitive proof, they are compelling because they suggest a creature capable of vocalizing in a way that does not match any known species. While some have dismissed the sounds as hoaxes or misidentifications of other wildlife, their consistency across multiple locations and decades adds to the intrigue. The challenges of proving Bigfoot's existence. While the evidence surrounding Bigfoot is tantalizing, it has yet to reach the threshold of scientific proof. Footprints, hair samples, and sound recordings offer intriguing clues, but they are not enough to conclusively prove the existence of a large, undiscovered species. Skeptics argue that much of the evidence could be explained by natural phenomena, misidentifications, or human deception. Without a body or clear DNA sample, the mystery remains unresolved. However, for believers and researchers, the lack of a body is not a deterrent. Many argue that if Bigfoot is a highly intelligent creature, it might bury its dead or live in such remote areas that remains are rarely, if ever, found. Additionally, the sheer vastness of North America's wilderness, particularly in regions like the Pacific Northwest, means that large areas of the forest remain unexplored and largely untouched by humans. In these hidden places, they argue it is entirely possible for a creature like Bigfoot to exist without leaving behind conclusive proof. The allure of the unseen. In the end, the evidence for Bigfoot, whether it be footprints pressed into the forest floor, a tuft of unexplained hair, or a haunting howl echoing through the trees, fuels one of humanity's oldest desires to believe that there are still mysteries in the world waiting to be uncovered. The allure of the unknown drives explorers, researchers, and believers into the wild in search of the next clue, the next fleeting glimpse, the next chance to solve the puzzle. While science demands solid proof, the world of Bigfoot remains rooted in possibility. Each new discovery, each footprint, each howl, adds another layer to the mystery, inviting us to look deeper into the forests, to listen more closely to the sounds of the night, and to keep our minds open to the idea that not all of nature's secrets have been revealed. Chapter 7. Bigfoot in Pop Culture. The towering figure of Bigfoot has long held a firm grip on the collective imagination. No longer confined to shadowy sightings in the wilderness, Bigfoot has transcended the realm of folklore and entered the world of pop culture in a big way. Today, Bigfoot is a beloved icon, appearing in movies, television, books, and even as the mascot for various brands. Its presence in popular culture reflects not only a fascination with the unknown, but also our deep-rooted need for adventure and mystery in a world that often feels too explored. Bigfoot's journey from the forests of the Pacific Northwest to the bright lights of Hollywood is as compelling as the legend itself, and it reveals just how deeply this creature has embedded itself in the modern psyche. Bigfoot on the big screen. One of the first places Bigfoot truly entered the mainstream was in film. As early as the 1950s, the legend of Sasquatch began appearing in movies, often portrayed as a terrifying monster lurking in the wilderness. Films like The Legend of Boggy Creek, 1972, capitalized on the growing Bigfoot craze, blending documentary-style footage with fictionalized accounts to create a chilling atmosphere. This low-budget film, based on supposed sightings in Arkansas, became a cult classic, solidifying Bigfoot as both a symbol of fear and fascination. As Bigfoot's popularity grew, filmmakers continued to explore the creature in various genres, from horror to family-friendly adventure. One of the most famous depictions came in the 1987 film Harry and the Hendersons. So this heartwarming comedy took a different approach to Bigfoot, portraying the creature, affectionately named Harry, not as a fearsome beast, but as a gentle giant. The film follows a suburban family who accidentally hit Bigfoot with their car and decide to take him home, only to realize that Harry is far more kind and intelligent than they ever imagined. Harry and the Hendersons became a box office success and a cultural touchstone, humanizing Bigfoot and presenting him as a misunderstood creature with a heart of gold. Beyond family films and horror flicks, Bigfoot has also made appearances in sci-fi. Movies like Abominable, 2006, and Exist, 2014, return to the creature's darker roots, portraying it as a relentless predator stalking its prey in remote forests. And these films tap into a primal fear of the wilderness, positioning Bigfoot as a symbol of nature's untamed power. Whether portrayed as a monster or a misunderstood gentle giant, Bigfoot has remained a compelling figure in cinema, embodying our fascination with creatures that exist on the fringes of our world. Bigfoot on television. Bigfoot's presence on television has been just as prominent, especially in reality shows and documentaries aimed at exploring the creature's existence. The long-running series Finding Bigfoot, which aired on Animal Planet, followed a team of researchers and enthusiasts as they traveled the world searching for evidence of Bigfoot. Though the show never definitively captured proof of the creature, its appeal lay in the thrill of the chase. Viewers were drawn in by the possibility that something unknown might still be out there, waiting to be discovered. Similarly, shows like Mountain Monsters and Expedition Bigfoot continue to captivate audiences by mixing cryptozoology with elements of suspense and adventure. These programs allow viewers to live vicariously through the hunters and researchers, sharing in the excitement of each potential clue and the frustration of yet another elusive sighting. While skeptics may dismiss these shows as entertainment rather than legitimate science, they highlight how deeply Bigfoot has become entrenched in modern television as a symbol of the mysterious and unexplored. Beyond reality TV, Bigfoot has made its way into fictional series as well. Shows like The X-Files and Supernatural have featured Bigfoot-inspired episodes, weaving the creature into broader narratives about the unknown and the paranormal. In these stories, Bigfoot often acts as a bridge between our world and something far stranger, hinting at the existence of forces beyond our understanding. Bigfoot in literature and comics. Bigfoot's appeal extends well beyond screens into the realm of literature. From non-fiction accounts and research studies to novels and graphic novels, the creature has become a literary figure in its own right. Countless books have been written by cryptozoologists and enthusiasts chronicling sightings, evidence, and theories about the creature's existence. These books, often written with a believer's passion, keep the debate alive, blending science, folklore, and adventure. In fiction, Bigfoot's appearances range from horror to satire. Notable examples include Devolution by Max Brooks, a thrilling novel that imagines a terrifying encounter with Bigfoot during the aftermath of a volcanic eruption. The novel weaves suspense with cryptozoological lore, presenting Bigfoot as a highly intelligent, dangerous predator. Meanwhile, in the world of comics, series like Bigfoot, Sword of the Earthman blend sci-fi and fantasy, placing Bigfoot in unexpected, heroic roles. Whether in serious fiction or light-hearted adventures, Bigfoot remains an enigmatic and adaptable figure, easily shifting from horror to humor, from predator to protector. Merchandise and advertising, Bigfoot is a cultural icon. Beyond movies, TV, and literature, Bigfoot has also become a beloved cultural icon, appearing in advertising and merchandise that are both humorous and nostalgic. The creature's mysterious nature has made it a perfect symbol for all things rugged, untamed, and elusive. During recent years, Bigfoot has been featured in advertisements for everything from beef jerky to beer. Jack Link's beef jerky capitalized on Bigfoot's wild persona in the popular Missing with Sasquatch campaign, in which unsuspecting campers play pranks on Bigfoot, only to face his humorous revenge. Bigfoot has also become products. The commercial conventions and fan communities, the Bigfoot subculture. Perhaps the most telling sign of Bigfoot's status as a pop culture icon is the thriving fan community that has grown around the creature. Every year, Bigfoot conventions and festivals are held across the United States, drawing thousands of enthusiasts eager to share stories, hear from researchers, and swap theories. Events like the Ohio Bigfoot Conference and the Sasquatch Festival in Washington have become pilgrimage sites for believers, where attendees can browse cryptozoology-themed merchandise, attend lectures by Bigfoot experts, and even join in on Bigfoot hunting expeditions. These gatherings are more than just entertainment. They serve as a communal space for those who believe in Bigfoot or are fascinated by the possibility of its existence. At these events, people find a sense of connection, united by their shared interest in the unknown. From cryptozoologists to casual fans, these conventions create a space where the line between skepticism and belief can blur, and where stories of encounters and evidence are treated with genuine curiosity. Why Bigfoot endures in pop culture? So why does Bigfoot continue to be such a powerful figure in pop culture? Perhaps it's because Bigfoot represents something that we feel we've lost, a connection to the untamed wilderness and the mysteries that lie beyond the reach of our modern world. In a time when GPS, satellites, and smartphones can map every inch of the globe, Bigfoot reminds us that there are still secrets lurking in the shadows. The creature embodies our desire for the unknown, the thrill of adventure, and the idea that not all of nature's mysteries have been solved. In the end, Bigfoot is more than just a legend or a cryptid. It is a symbol. It represents the tension between what we know and what we hope might still be out there, waiting to be discovered. Whether it's through movies, TV shows, books, or fan communities, Bigfoot continues to captivate our imagination, offering a reminder that the world still holds wonder and that the boundaries of the known are not yet fully explored. Chapter 8: Modern Theories about Bigfoot. The mystery of Bigfoot has captured the human imagination for centuries, but as modern technology and scientific inquiry advance, so too have the theories about what Bigfoot might actually be. For believers, the question is no longer just whether Bigfoot exists, but what kind of creature it might be. Over the years, various theories have emerged, from the purely biological to the paranormal, that attempt to explain why such a creature has remained hidden from science for so long. While none of these theories have been definitively proven, they offer compelling insights into the enduring mystery of Bigfoot. The relic hominid hypothesis, a living fossil? One of the most widely accepted theories among cryptozoologists and researchers is the relic hominid hypothesis. According to this theory, Bigfoot is a surviving species of an ancient, human-like primate that once roamed the earth during the Pleistocene epoch. Proponents of this theory argue that Bigfoot could be a descendant of Gigantopithecus, a massive ape species that lived in Asia over 300,000 years ago. Standing up to 10 feet tall and weighing as much as 1,000 pounds, Gigantopithecus fits many of the physical descriptions attributed to Bigfoot. While most scientists believe Gigantopithecus went extinct due to climate change or competition with early humans, those who support the relic hominid hypothesis suggest that a small population could have survived in the remote, forested regions of North America. These creatures, much like modern animals that have adapted to avoid human contact, would be incredibly elusive, hiding in the dense forest and avoiding detection by humans. The idea of a living relic from a prehistoric era is not without precedent. In the early 20th century, scientists discovered the coelacanth, a species of fish thought to have gone extinct 66 million years ago, alive and well in the Indian Ocean. For believers in the relic hominid theory, the possibility that a creature like Bigfoot has survived into the modern era is not so far-fetched, especially when considering the vast expanses of unexplored wilderness that still exist in North America. This theory appeals to those who view Bigfoot as a flesh and blood animal, a creature of biological origin that has simply evaded modern scientific study. For researchers, the discovery of Bigfoot would represent the find of the century, the discovery of a living hominid species that could revolutionize our understanding of evolution, human history, and biology. Paranormal theories, the interdimensional Bigfoot. While the relic hominid hypothesis presents Bigfoot as a biological being, another growing set of theories takes a more unconventional approach. These paranormal theories suggest that Bigfoot is not a creature bound by the same physical laws as other animals. Instead, Bigfoot may be an interdimensional being, a creature capable of moving between different planes of existence, which could explain its ability to appear and disappear without a trace. This theory finds its roots in the accounts of witnesses who claim that Bigfoot exhibits supernatural abilities, such as vanishing into thin air, moving at incredible speeds, or emitting electromagnetic interference that disrupts cameras and other equipment. Some reports even link Bigfoot sightings to UFO activity, suggesting a possible extraterrestrial connection. According to believers, these abilities are why no one has been able to capture a Bigfoot or find its remains, because the creature exists in a parallel dimension or can phase in and out of our reality. Supporters of the interdimensional theory often point to quantum physics, which has demonstrated the possibility of multiple dimensions beyond our perception. Could Bigfoot then be a creature from one of these alternate dimensions, crossing into our world for brief moments before returning to its own? While this idea may seem far-fetched to some, it offers a tantalizing explanation for the mystery surrounding Bigfoot's elusive nature. Paranormal theories also suggest that Bigfoot might have a spiritual or metaphysical role. In Native American lore, as explored in earlier chapters, Bigfoot is often considered a guardian of nature or spiritual being, a belief that aligns with the idea of Bigfoot existing beyond the physical world. This view suggests that Bigfoot is not just an animal to be discovered, but a creature that operates on a higher plane, connected to both the natural world and realms beyond human understanding. Ecological arguments. A master of its environment. Much like large predators such as wolves or mountain lions, Bigfoot would be a solitary, intelligent creature that uses its knowledge of the land to avoid humans. Researchers suggest that Bigfoot may live in small, isolated populations spread across vast, inaccessible areas such as the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest or the rugged mountains of the Appalachian Range. These environments provide ample cover and food sources while also making human encounters rare. This theory also accounts for the lack of physical evidence, such as bones or bodies. In the wild, animal remains decompose quickly, scavengers carry off bones, and dense forests can hide almost anything. Bigfoot, as an intelligent creature, may even have burial practices or other ways of concealing its dead, further reducing the chances of discovery. Additionally, its potential nocturnal behavior would make sightings even rarer, as many reports occurred during twilight or night when visibility is poor. For many believers, this ecological explanation is the most plausible. It requires no supernatural abilities, no interdimensional travel, just a large, intelligent animal that has mastered the art of survival in the wild. It suggests that Bigfoot is a reminder of the untamed, mysterious parts of our world, places where humans have yet to fully intrude. The hybrid theory, the best of both worlds. Interestingly, some modern theorists propose a hybrid approach that combines elements of the biological and paranormal theories. According to this theory, Bigfoot may be a relic hominid with extraordinary abilities that defy current scientific understanding, who perhaps, much like other animals that possess unusual senses, such as bats' echolocation or birds' ability to navigate via magnetic fields, Bigfoot might have developed advanced capabilities that we have yet to comprehend. This hybrid theory leaves room for both physical and metaphysical explanations. It acknowledges Bigfoot's biological roots, while also considering the possibility that this creature exists beyond our current scientific framework. Could Bigfoot be a naturally evolved species with abilities that make it seem supernatural to us? This theory appeals to those who believe that the world still holds mysteries that science has not yet unraveled. Why so many theories? The abundance of theories about Bigfoot reflects the complexity of the mystery itself. With so many sightings reports and fragments of evidence, the lack of a definitive answer has led to creative and diverse interpretation. For some, Bigfoot must be a biological entity, a creature of flesh and blood that has somehow slipped through the cracks of modern science. For others, the mystery is too great to be explained by science alone, and paranormal or metaphysical explanations seem more fitting. Bigfoot's status as an enduring mystery lies in the tension between these theories. Its existence challenges our understanding of the natural world while offering a glimpse into the unknown. Whether a relic from the past, a spiritual guardian, or a creature of another dimension, Bigfoot continues to captivate those who seek answers to one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time. Chapter 9: Scientific Expeditions and Investigations. While Bigfoot has long been the subject of folklore and mystery, it has also attracted serious attention from scientists, researchers, and enthusiasts dedicated to uncovering the truth. Over the years, numerous scientific expeditions have ventured into the forests and mountains of North America in search of evidence that could prove the existence of Bigfoot once and for all. From DNA testing to field research, the efforts to document Bigfoot have been as varied as the theories surrounding its existence. Though definitive proof has remained elusive, these expeditions and investigations have yielded intriguing findings, pushing the boundaries of cryptozoology, the study of unknown or hidden animals, and continuing the quest for answers. The Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, BFRO. Founded in 1995 by Bigfoot enthusiast Matt Moneymaker, the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, BFRO, is one of the most prominent groups dedicated to investigating sightings and gathering evidence of the creature. The BFRO is unique in that it combines the efforts of amateur researchers with those of professionals, including biologists, anthropologists, and even wildlife photographers, all united by their desire to uncover the truth about Bigfoot. The BFRO is known for conducting field expeditions in areas where Bigfoot sightings have been frequently reported. These expeditions often involve camping in remote locations, setting up trail cameras, and conducting nighttime investigations in the hopes of capturing evidence. Over the years, the BFRO has compiled a vast database of reported sightings, many of which are accompanied by witness interviews, photographs of footprints, and audio recordings of strange vocalizations. One of the most notable cases investigated by the BFRO occurred in 2000, when researchers in Skookum Meadows, Washington, discovered what has come to be known as the Skookum Cast. While the team had set up bait hoping to capture a footprint, what they found instead was an impression in the mud that appeared to have been made by a large creature lying down. The cast showed what some believed to be the body impression of a Bigfoot, including what could be a heel, forearm, and buttocks. Though skeptics have suggested the cast could have been made by an elk or other large animal, believers point to the unique shape and size of the impression as evidence of Bigfoot. The BFRO's work has been showcased in the popular television series Finding Bigfoot, which aired on Animal Planet for several seasons. The show followed members of the BFRO as they investigated sightings across the United States, bringing the organization's methods and findings into the public eye. While the show never captured conclusive proof of Bigfoot's existence, it fueled public interest and inspired countless other expeditions, scientific expeditions, and cryptozoologists. Outside of organizations like the BFRO, individual scientists and cryptozoologists have also led significant efforts to uncover the truth about Bigfoot. One of the most prominent figures in the field is Dr. Grover Krantz, a physical anthropologist who dedicated much of his career to studying evidence related to Bigfoot. Krantz was one of the few academics who publicly supported the idea that Bigfoot could be a relic hominid, a species that survived from prehistoric times into the modern era. Krantz focused much of his research on footprint casts, analyzing their anatomy and biomechanics. He argued that many of the footprints displayed characteristics that would be extremely difficult to fake, such as dermal ridges in the mid-tarsal break, a unique feature of foot flexibility found in some primates. Krantz believed that the sheer number of footprints found over the years, combined with the consistent anatomical details across different regions, made a strong case for the existence of Bigfoot. Krantz's work inspired other scientists to take a closer look at the evidence, even if many in the academic community remained skeptical. His willingness to apply scientific rigor to a subject often dismissed as pseudoscience helped legitimize the search for Bigfoot and encouraged more researchers to consider the possibility that an undiscovered species could exist. In addition to Krantz, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, a professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State University, has emerged as one of the leading voices in Bigfoot research. Meldrum has studied more than 300 footprint casts and has become an outspoken advocate for the idea that Bigfoot is a real biological entity. Like Krantz, Meldrum argues that the consistency in the footprints features suggests they were made by a living creature, not a hoax. Meldrum has also worked on DNA analysis in an effort to find genetic evidence of Bigfoot, though results have been inconclusive thus far. DNA studies searching for genetic proof. In recent years, DNA analysis has become a central focus in the search for Bigfoot. With advancements in genetic testing, researchers have hoped that hair samples, skin fragments, or other biological material found at Bigfoot sighting locations could yield the conclusive proof that has so far eluded the scientific community. One of the most high-profile attempts to analyze potential Bigfoot DNA occurred in 2013, when Dr. Melba Ketchum, a veterinarian and geneticist, led a controversial study of over 100 hair, blood, and tissue samples collected from various locations associated with Bigfoot sightings. Ketchum claimed that her analysis revealed that the samples belonged to an unknown hominid species, possibly a hybrid between humans and an unknown primate. According to Ketchum, this discovery suggested that Bigfoot was a living species with a genetic link to humans. However, Ketchum's findings were met with widespread skepticism. Many scientists criticized the methodology of her study, arguing that the DNA samples were contaminated or misinterpreted. The scientific community at large did not accept her conclusions, and the study has not been independently verified. Still, the effort highlighted the potential role that DNA testing could play in solving the Bigfoot mystery, if the right sample could be found. Other researchers continue to collect DNA samples from suspected Bigfoot encounters, though the results have so far been inconclusive. In many cases, the samples have been found to belong to known animals, such as bears or elk. Yet, for every inconclusive result, there is renewed hope that the next sample might be the one to provide definitive proof. The challenges of Bigfoot research. Despite the dedicated efforts of researchers, the search for Bigfoot faces significant challenges. One of the most obvious obstacles is the sheer size and remoteness of the areas where Bigfoot is thought to reside. Much of the Pacific Northwest, the Appalachian Mountains, and other regions associated with Bigfoot sightings consist of dense, rugged wilderness, making it difficult to conduct thorough investigations or long-term studies. Another challenge is the lack of funding and support for Bigfoot research. Because mainstream science often dismisses cryptozoology as pseudoscience, researchers must rely on private funding, volunteer efforts, or self-financed expeditions. This lack of institutional support limits the scope of research and makes it harder to deploy the kinds of advanced technology that might provide more conclusive results. Finally, the elusive nature of Bigfoot itself presents a significant hurdle. Unlike many other animals which can be studied through tracking, tagging, or observation, Bigfoot is known only through fleeting encounters, footprints, and anecdotal evidence. The creature's ability to evade detection, combined with the scarcity of reliable evidence, makes it one of the most difficult subjects in the field of cryptozoology. Looking ahead, the future of Bigfoot research. Despite these challenges, the search for Bigfoot continues, and new technologies may offer fresh hope for researchers. Advances in drones, thermal imaging, and camera traps are allowing researchers to cover more ground and monitor remote areas more effectively than ever before. Additionally, the increasing accessibility of DNA sequencing means that future samples could be tested more quickly and thoroughly. While the scientific community remains skeptical, the persistence of researchers, combined with the public's enduring fascination with Bigfoot, ensures that the search will go on. Whether through the discovery of new physical evidence, DNA analysis, or a groundbreaking expedition, the mystery of Bigfoot may one day be solved. For now, Bigfoot remains an enigma, lurking in the shadows of the natural world, waiting to reveal itself. The scientific expeditions and investigations that continue to this day are a testament to humanity's desire to explore the unknown and to uncover the secrets that still hide in the vast, untamed wilderness. Chapter 10: The Legacy and Mystery of Bigfoot. Bigfoot is more than a legend, it is a symbol of mystery, of the wild places that remain just beyond the reach of modern civilization. For centuries, tales of this elusive giant have captivated explorers, scientists, and dreamers alike, and today, Bigfoot endures as one of the most fascinating and debated creatures in the world. From the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest to the deep swamps of the South, Bigfoot represents something larger than itself, the enduring human desire to believe that there are still undiscovered wonders in the world. As we've explored throughout this book, Bigfoot has woven itself into the fabric of human culture, science, and even pop culture. Its origins, rooted in ancient indigenous stories, give the creature a sense of depth and history. The modern sightings and scientific expeditions, while inconclusive, continue to fuel curiosity. And the theories, whether based on biology, paranormal phenomena, or ecology, reflect the broad spectrum of possibilities that Bigfoot represents. But in the end, Bigfoot's legacy is about more than just whether it is real. It's about the power of mystery itself. Why the mystery endures. The world has grown smaller in many ways. Satellites orbit the Earth, mapping every inch of land, and GPS devices make even the most remote areas accessible. We've sent probes to the farthest reaches of the solar system and unlocked secrets at the microscopic level through scientific advancements. Yet, despite all of our technology and exploration, Bigfoot remains hidden, out of sight and just beyond our grasp. For some, this lack of definitive proof is reason enough to dismiss the creature as a myth or a fabrication. After all, how could something so large evade detection for so long in an age where information is so easily captured and shared? But for others, the absence of proof is precisely what makes Bigfoot so compelling. It serves as a reminder that the world, even in its most well-trodden parts, still holds mysteries. Bigfoot represents the possibility that not all of nature's secrets have been revealed. It is a symbol of the unknown, the part of the natural world that exists beyond human understanding. And for many, this mystery is not something to be solved, but something to be cherished. It speaks to the idea that there are still places where nature reigns supreme, untamed and uncharted, where a creature like Bigfoot could exist just beyond the boundaries of our knowledge. The believers, why people keep searching. Perhaps one of the most fascinating aspects of the Bigfoot phenomenon is the dedication of its believers. While many dismiss Bigfoot as folklore or a hoax, the people who search for it, cryptozoologists, scientists, and everyday enthusiasts, are driven by a deep-seated belief that there is more to this world than meets the eye. They dedicate time, resources, and energy to investigating sightings, analyzing evidence, and venturing into the wilderness in search of that one definitive clue. But what drives them? For many, it's not just about proving Bigfoot's existence, but about the thrill of the search itself. The idea that there is something out there, waiting to be discovered, is a powerful motivator. It taps into a primal curiosity, the same spirit that drove early explorers to sail uncharted seas and scale distant mountains. The search for Bigfoot is, in many ways, a continuation of that human desire to explore, to push the boundaries of what we know and find what lies beyond. The community of Bigfoot believers is also a tight-knit one. From conventions and expeditions to online forums and local gatherings, those who share a fascination with Bigfoot find camaraderie in their quest. These gatherings are about more than just sharing evidence, they are about sharing a passion for the unknown. Whether you're a seasoned researcher or a casual fan, the Bigfoot community offers a place where curiosity and wonder are celebrated. Bigfoot's place in the modern world. In today's world, where so much of life is digitized and explained, Bigfoot offers a different kind of narrative. It is a story not of certainty but of possibility. And in a time when answers seem to be at our fingertips, Bigfoot invites us to consider that some questions remain unanswered, and perhaps they should be. This doesn't mean that the search for Bigfoot is over. Far from it. Scientific expeditions continue, and new sightings are reported each year. With advancements in technology like drones, DNA analysis, and thermal imaging, researchers have more tools at their disposal than ever before. But whether or not Bigfoot is ever found, its place in our collective imagination is secure. Bigfoot has transcended the need for physical proof. It has become a cultural icon, a figure that represents not just a cryptid but a symbol of the unknown. It stands for the idea that there are still wonders in the world, still mysteries worth pursuing, and still spaces where nature holds sway over human knowledge. What if Bigfoot is never found? As we draw our exploration of Bigfoot to a close, it's worth considering a question: what if Bigfoot is never found? What if, after all the expeditions, all the sightings, and all the investigations, the creature remains elusive, hidden forever in the forests and mountains of North America? For some, the answer is simple: Bigfoot doesn't need to be found to have value. The search itself is what matters. The idea that there are still places on Earth where creatures like Bigfoot could exist is a powerful reminder of the limits of human knowledge and the vastness of the natural world. In many ways, the mystery of Bigfoot is more important than the creature itself. It reminds us that, even in an age of information, there are still things we don't know. There are still shadows in the woods, still unexplored corners of the earth, still questions that remain unanswered. Bigfoot's legacy, then, is not just about whether or not it exists. It's about the mystery it represents. Final thoughts: a legacy of wonder. Bigfoot may or may not be real, but its impact on our culture, our science, and our imaginations is undeniable. It represents the enduring human spirit of exploration, the thrill of the unknown, and the possibility that the world still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. Whether Bigfoot is a relic from our prehistoric past, a guardian of the wilderness, or simply a myth, it has become a symbol of wonder in a world that often feels too well defined. In the end, the legend of Bigfoot endures because it speaks to something deeper within us, a desire to believe that there are still wild places left in the world, places where mystery reigns and discovery awaits. And as long as people continue to search the forests, climb the mountains, and walk the untamed paths of the earth, Bigfoot's legacy will live on. Because sometimes the most powerful mysteries are the ones that remain unsolved.